Yes, and today I will be talking about the 4 stages of the signature assessment. The first stage says, do you think the Nazi officer did anything wrong? I personally do think that the Nazi officer did do something wrong. I stated the Nazi officer did do something morally wrong, according to me and to the video Sophie's Choice. The Nazi officer started the video off immorally by saying that he would love to get Sophie in bed, which made her feel very uncomfortable. That wasn't the only immorally thing that he did. Another thing that he did that was immorally was making Sophie choose one of her own children to be sacrificed just so that she could show that she was not a Jew. You can't look at a person and go off of where they live or say, oh, she's Jewish. That's not the way it works. Everything that happened in the video was morally wrong just because they judged a person without even knowing her. In stage 2, it says create an argument and a question from one of your peers. So one of my peers asked me a question instead of the argument. My peer that did that was Evan Warfield Smith. He said, it seems that we are in agreement that the Nazi officer was morally wrong when he made Sophie Choice give up one of her children. We also agree that his sexual harassment of her was also immoral. That, however, is where the similarities in our responses end. You stated that everything that happened in the video was morally wrong because they judged a person without even knowing her. However, my belief is that the Nazi officer was wrong because he killed a child, someone who has not even had a proper chance of life. You also brought up the fact that she was not Jewish as a reason that the Nazi was wrong, saying you can't look at a person or go off of where they live and say, oh, she's Jewish. My question is, if Sophie was actually Jewish, would the Nazi officers be morally in the right? When he asked me that question, I felt like it was a good question, but either way it went, if Sophie was actually Jewish, he still wouldn't be in the right. I stated if Sophie was Jewish, the Nazi officer would still be in the wrong. Sophie was not Jew, but she was a devoted Catholic, which meant that the Nazi officer would still have treated her the way he did if he didn't know that she was Catholic. He most likely would have still given her the same option that he gave her when he told her that she had to sacrifice one of her children. Therefore, the Nazi officer would not have been morally in the right. The Nazi officer, by him even making her sacrifice a child in the first place, just took it to a whole nother level, which made it very, very unmorally right. And by Evan saying, if Sophie was Jewish, would it make the Nazi officer morally in the right? No, because he would have still been treating her wrong because they were trying to get rid of the Jews in the first place. They were treating the Jews with disrespect because they felt like the Jews did not belong and that whole religion is just horrible. So even if Sophie would have never told the Nazi officer, oh no, I'm not Jewish, I'm Catholic, I believe in the Christian faith or whatever, he still probably would have treated her the same way or maybe even worse. So no, he wouldn't be morally in the right because either way he's treating people wrong.